gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to the Handbags, Manbags, Bumbags podcast. This week we are bringing you episode number 27. Last week we brought you our Euros preview, which will have now kicked off, and England will have hopefully already lost. Won their first game against Croatia on Sunday, as this is going out on the Monday. So for this week's episode, we're going to be taking a look at some of the greatest lines of commentary of all time and some of the greatest moments in sport. So I know for a fact that Jake's got a good mix of a number of sports. I've got a couple. Rob hasn't. Proper football.
Would you expect anything else at this point?
No, I would not expect anything
Absolutely
else.
not.
I would not expect anything else. But what I will give you the privilege of, Rob, is giving you first dibs on your first line.
I'm trying to think if I've ordered mine. I don't think I have. I'll just go
any order will do, and then we'll judge at the end the greatest one.
I'm trying to think if there's a good way to do it and work my way up, but I don't think there is. So I'll just do the order. I've got them written down, and I'll start. The first one is from Kenneth Wolstenholme. If I've butchered that pronunciation, I apologise. It is obviously from when England won the World Cup. They think it's all over. It is now.
Insert clip.
And here comes Hurst. He's got some people are on the pitch. They think it's all over. It is now. It's four. And Charlton. And the players bring themselves.
So, talk me through it then. Talk me through it. It's obviously iconic, isn't it?
Just like, yeah. It's England winning the World Cup. I had to get it in there somewhere, didn't I?
True.
The only time we've done well at a major tournament, well, actually won a major tournament anyway.
Yeah.
Until a month's time.
Yeah.
No, stop getting your hopes up. We're not going to win the tournament.
We're out in the last 16, Rob.
Yes, I agree with that.
Don't care anyway. You're both
out.
frauds. You're both supporting other nations anyway. Why do you care?
True.
Portugal.
North Macedonia, mate. But yeah, anyway, any line where England are winning a major tournament is always going to do well, and I think that ties in.
Go down in history.
I think it ties quite nicely into one of my ones actually, with England winning a major tournament, but not in football. It's in cricket, and it's our 2019 World Cup win in the final against New Zealand, and the commentary line that was said by a New Zealander, Ian Smith. Insert clip now.
Guttull's going to push for two. They've got to go. Throw's got to go to the keeper's end. He's got it. England have won the World Cup by the barest of margins.
So, bit of context behind it. It was a tie at the end of the game, end of the final at Lord's, and obviously went to a super over, and New Zealand needed 15 runs to win in the super over. Jofra almost butchered it, but came down to the final ball, the final run, and it went on the number of boundaries, I think, at the end. So, really special moment, and the commentary line's not bad either.
Are you going to do your impersonation of it, Ben?
I'm not going to do my impersonation of it because I'm struggling with a bit of a cold. So, I'm not.
I'm not cold in the middle in summer.
Hay fever, we'll call it that. I haven't taken my tablets this morning. Sorry, Mum. But no, I'm not going to do the impression, but I'll probably get taken off the air in New Zealand if I do that. So, we'll leave that one. But anyway, yeah, England winning a World Cup in cricket, it's always a memorable moment, and it's one that sticks with the memories of Ben Stokes just having an absolute blinder the whole tournament, and in particular that game against New Zealand at Lord's.
Yeah. Well, I'll go back to football, and mine's Clive Tildesley at the 1999 Champions League final. Obviously, Manchester United win it out the death to win the treble, so it's obviously very iconic. And it goes, you have to feel this is their year. Is this their moment? And then Beckham into Sheringham, and Solskjaer has won it. Manchester United have reached the promised land.
Beckham into Sheringham, and Solskjaer has won it.
So you've actually gone and I'm guessing you've got that open on the screen, or have you written that down? Because I've not written down any of my quotes. Good.
I've got all my quotes down.
We're not doing that much prep, for goodness sake. That's what we do best on here. It's 5 minutes of prep before every every single episode. We're
He's
only
not full time yet, is he? He's trying to
Exactly.
impress us, make sure he gets the full time slot.
Yeah, absolutely. We only decided we were going to record this an hour before we actually are. So that's how unorganised we are here. But yeah, obviously Man
To be
United
fair,
doing
it's
well.
busy week, to be fair.
It is a busy week. Yeah.
As you'll see next week when I have a different background.
And I'm still stuck here possibly, but we'll see. Might be back home, but we shall see for sure. So obviously it's a major moment that the Clive Tilsley commentary. Talk me through it, Jay. You kind of did, but touch a bit further on it.
Yeah, Manchester United became the first English club to ever win the treble, which is obviously the most prestigious thing you can win in England, other than like a quadruple or something like that. But still to this day, Manchester United are the only English side to have done it, which is why it's such a historic piece of commentary.
Fair enough. And I always think Clive Tilsley's a really good commentator as well. Really good commentator.
Very
it's just
good.
A shame he's been axed by ITV. It's just a big shame. But won't be the same without him. But we'll move on to your next one, Rob, which obviously is another football one, so it'll tie in quite nicely to Jake's previous one. Talk us through it.
Yeah, well, the next one is from Martin Tyler, and everyone's going to know the one I'm on about here. 3 of the best, he's made them pay, and that completes a wonderful hat trick.
God's sake.
No, that's not the actual one I've got. Obviously, I've gone for Aguero.
Manchester City are still alive here. Balotelli, Aguero! I swear you'll never see anything like this ever again.
You see, I haven't got that. I haven't written that one down. I don't think that's his best one. Controversial to be sure,
point, yeah.
for sure. But there's one that I'm going to insert here that is, I think, Martin Tyler's best one, and it's another Man City one, but it's the one against Leicester where Martin Tyler and Gary Neville single-handedly have an orgasm on the commentaries.
Have a crack, he's getting closer. Captain Marvel!
Yeah, I think that with the Aguero one, I think it's more the occasion more than the actual commentary line, just because of a last-minute goal to win them the league title.
And if you'd have seen him in Aguero's last game, he tried to recreate it. He was just so lackadaisical about it. Shows how much Martin Tyler's aged as well.
He's 9 years older now.
I know.
He struggles at that point.
Yeah, but no, it was definitely a major moment. I know Jake's still in physical pain to this day from that game against Queen's Park Rangers where City nabbed it in the 95th minute or whatever it was.
So sad for weeks. I actually took a week off school. Was that sad?
That was the extra motivation for me to put it in as well, to be fair. Just a nice reminder for you.
Yeah. You'll see the clip in the edit, and it'll cost us a view of you actually watching it, but not that you do anyway. Not that you do anyway, but anyhow. I'll go on to my next one then, shall we? Again, another really good football commentator. Doesn't do as much Premier League stuff. He's more of an EFL commentator. It is Bill Leslie. And most notably, the Watford-Leicester game. That Watford-Leicester game in 2013, the playoff semi-final.
Here's Hogg! Deeney! Do not scratch your eyes! You are really seeing the most extraordinary finish here!
Bit of context behind it. Anthony Knockaert went down for a controversial penalty, let's say the least. Very late on, would have sent Leicester to Wembley to be in the playoff final. Almunia saves the penalty, saves the rebound, and then Watford are on the counter-attack. You see, you could have taken Bill Leslie's one here, or you could have taken Johnny Phillips's one from Soccer Saturday, because they're both equally as good. But I've gone for the one for Bill Leslie, Hogg, and then obviously Deeney, just absolutely screaming it down the mic. It's probably one of the best football commentary lines I've ever heard in watching football in my time, but especially EFL commentary, which again doesn't obviously get that much attention.
Yeah.
Well, I might as well just. I'm breaking the order a bit, but that was one further down my list as well. So
there we go then.
Saves me a job later on.
I hear that like being used on football pitches and all sorts, like people just shouting Deeney.
That's
Stuff
one
like
of those,
that.
isn't it?
Coming in like to
There's a
destroy
few of
the
them.
ball.
You just hear that walk on a park. You just see like a couple of 8-year-olds playing. Someone just touches it down, smacks the ball in. Deeney!
Yeah.
It's become a phrase now. If you clutch something up at the last minute now, people,
Yeah.
me and my mates will do. It'd be out of context. It'll just be some sort of last minute save to win something or do something or whatever it is. Or like, even if you like just drop your phone and not kick it back up at the last minute, as if you clutch something in the last minute, you just go Deeney.
How
Yeah.
all of those players involved now, their careers have sunk since that moment. Deeney can't get in the Watford team. Knockhart,
He's injury prone, to be fair.
he's struggling at Nottingham Forest, can barely get in their team. And then obviously Hoggs at Huddersfield had a run in the Premier League, but obviously now lumbershing towards the bottom of the Championship. But now, for me, that Bill Leslie line is probably one of the best ever in footballing terms.
I agree.
Agreed. My next one is from Formula One, and it's obviously the 2008 World Championship, the last lap where obviously Hamilton needs to make up a position to win the World Championship.
Is that Glock?
And is that Glock? Is that Glock going slowly?
It is,
That's
it's Glock. Oh my goodness me, Hamilton's back in position again.
Yeah, is that Glock? Is that Glock going slowly? And then both Martin Brundle and James Allen both shout in tandem like, "That's Glock!" And then James Allen's like, "Oh my goodness me, that's Hamilton back in position again, obviously to win the World Championship." And he goes and does it by a singular point.
Yeah, you just see all the scenes pre-hand of Massa's engineers as he's crossed the line and already won the
Ferrari
race.
garage.
And
then
then
Massa's dad's giving it large, and then Buddy finds out that Hamilton's got past Glock and won it by a point.
Unbelievable. That's probably one of the best.
Yeah.
That's probably the best F1 commentary lines. And obviously, there's the great Murray
the greatest
Walker.
ever finished to a championship as well. Incredible.
Absolutely. There's always the great Murray Walker who's done many a good lines across the years.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Mr. Walker.
Absolutely.
What we could do with your F1 commentary skills today, but anyhow. No, I totally agree with the Glock one. Absolute stonewall, that one. Rob, talk us through another football one then, shall you?
Well, I've kind of covered one of mine, so I'm down to my fourth one already because you stole it.
Sorry.
I'll go with, I'll make it fair because I've put one in that had a poor effect on Man United. So I'll put one in that was after a negative event for Liverpool, and that's John Motson following the Wimbledon's FA Cup final win over Liverpool when he's like the crazy gang of beating the Culture Club.
There it is. The crazy gang have beaten the Culture Club. Wimbledon have destroyed Liverpool's dreams of the double.
Interesting. Okay.
Just thought it just sums up that entire situation perfectly, really. It's just really great piece of commentary.
Yeah.
Just thinking, if some of these clips are quite old, I'm going to have a trouble finding them on YouTube to put them in the edits. If the worst comes to the worst, I'm going to have to try and recreate them, and that will get us demonetized automatically.
John Motson, iconic with the little his little coat with a sheepskin or whatever it is.
Yeah,
just an iconic commentator.
Yeah, the voice. It's just so.
Just a shame he's not on Match of the Day anymore, and he's
we got to retire at some point, didn't you?
Yeah, it's a shame, but no. Again, another solid shout.
Yeah, one of his best lines as well. That's the one he credits with that one. I think it was that one in the game when Hereford beat Newcastle as well. Those two cup games, what he credits as putting why his career took the step up that it did.
Yeah.
So if the man himself rates it highly amongst all the brilliant lines he's said over his career, then it must be a good one.
Absolutely. So I'm going to say another one now. It's another footballing one, and it's another older one, and it's actually from 1970. Interesting one for sure. It's by David Coleman, and it's that Gordon Banks save.
Oh yeah, I know what one you mean.
What a save, Gordon Banks. In sync there, absolutely in sync. I mean, you just see that played everywhere. Whenever you see like a Sunday League footballer that's edited their videos or something, aka Chris MD.
Video.
Yeah,
yeah.
What a save, Gordon Banks. It's just iconic. And although it was 4 years after England obviously won the World Cup, didn't have a bad campaign the following season, the following tournament, but obviously commentaries have been so good even in the 70s as they are today. I mean, that was such a good commentary line. I mean, and it sticks with the memories today, even 40, 50 years on.
Yeah. Incredible save. I still don't know how he saved it, to be honest.
It's unbelievable. It's why he's one of the best England keepers ever.
Like, from right under the bar, he managed to scoop it over the top.
Unbelievable save.
Top tier.
My next one is from golf, and it's from Vern Lundqvist, and it's 2005 Masters where Tiger Woods hits it over the green on the 16th, and he chips it back onto the green, and the ball slowly rolls towards the hole, and then it like stops right on the edge of the hole, and then just drops in.
Yeah.
And and it's the commentaries. Here it comes. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. In your life, have you seen anything like that?
Oh my goodness. Have you seen anything like that?
And that was an important shot because obviously Tiger Woods went to a playoff in the end in that tournament and managed to beat Chris DeMarco to win to win the Masters again.
I think golf's a very underrated sport actually in terms of commentary lines because
absolutely
a lot of the commentators don't get that excited when big major moments happen. I mean, I can't really think of many off the top of my head where you've got the commentators going absolutely mental, like you've got like Martin Tyler, for example. They're very subtle and subdued golf commentators, but they certainly know what they're talking about.
Yeah, when they do go big for a commentary line, but it's always very memorable.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they're few and far between, so you haven't got like a bunch of them just all piled up. There's only select few, so...
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that tournament, again, like every Masters tournament, absolutely sublime. But I think we'll tie this in quite nicely to my next one, which is another golf one. And it's from Ewan Murray for the 2012 Ryder Cup, the Miracle at Medina, in response to Martin Kaymer's winning putt.
The history books rewritten by 12 heroes in Chicago. Unbelievably, it's Europe's Ryder Cup.
I don't know the commentary line off the top of my head because I knew I wanted to find it, but I couldn't remember what it was said. And then it was just pure emotion. It was something about Europe doing it against the odds, coming from such a far distance behind, because USA were miles in front in that tournament. And somehow Europe turned it around in the singles on the Sunday morning and absolutely blitzed the US, which is why it's now known as the Miracle of Medina.
Yeah. Poor prep from you, though.
I'm sorry. Couldn't be bothered.
Poor.
Rip.
Disappointed in you, Ben.
Disappointed.
Shut up.
You're meant to be the example. You're meant to be the example.
Fine.
Well, I've only got one left, so I might as well get mine out of the way because you two have got quite a few more, I think.
Yeah.
And obviously, as you've realised from my first four, I couldn't be bothered to do anything else other than football because I barely watch anything else. And then, because, again, in the interest of balance, I did one from Liverpool losing a cup final, so I did one from a very important goal for Liverpool. You think I'm going to corner taken quickly, Origi? I'm not. That's where it sounds like it's leading. I've not put that in. I've gone for one. There's actually a line from an Everton fan on the commentary, which was Andy Gray when Gerrard scored against Olympiacos with the lovely cushion head as Gerrard, and then obviously the Scottish accent, which I'm not going to try and do. Oh, you beauty. What a hit, son. That iconic one. That's another one you hear around all the time. Yeah. Never someone hits a half-decent strike down the park. What a hit, son.
Miller, lovely cushion header. But Gerrard! Oh, you beauty! What a hit, son! What a hit!
Yeah.
The controversial Andy Gray.
Yeah.
Him and Richard Keys, very controversial indeed. But certainly a good commentary line. There's no question about that. But
great bit of commentary line. Just a funny thing that it's a Evertonian over a Liverpool, over a really important goal for Liverpool as well.
Yeah. Well, that's impartiality for you. That's what makes a good commentator. You've got to have the ability to be impartial. I mean, imagine the scenes if you've got a Man United fan like Jay going to the Liverpool game, having to commentate on that, and you're like, oh, for God's sake, Liverpool have scored. I mean, it just shows no impartiality at all. That's why commentators are so talented in what they do.
Depends how we kind of moved away from that now. We've now kind of leaned more towards.
I know. I don't like
Neville
it the way it is now. I don't like it the way it is now. If you've got Neville and Carragher going to Liverpool and Man United's games, I don't like it. I like the impartiality of it because
I find it funny when they have the camera on the two of them. Like you see that when Liverpool.
There's no question that. There's no question.
The
it's
1-1
funny.
draw last season when Gary Neville starts punching the table when Liverpool score and you get to see it on the camera. It's like, not quite the impartiality, but it's still very funny to watch.
Carragher's stupid face as well from one year. I think it was the 1-1 draw at Old Trafford a couple of years ago.
Just so Liverpool scores and Carragher turns straight to the camera, pulls a stupid face, and it's just Gary Neville punching the table in the background.
I was leading up for you to do the stupid face then.
I can't remember it. I just remember him getting really cocky in the camera, and I could just see Gary Neville going like that on the table.
Sounds just like Carragher. That sounds just like Carragher. Anyway, I'll let you go to your next one, Jake.
Okay. So my next one is darts, and it's from the 2014 World Championship, where Michael van Gerwen wins his first World Championship, and the commentary line is, has his day of destiny arrived? Michael van Gerwen stands on top of the world of darts. The day of destiny is the 1st of January 2014. And it's very historic because Michael van Gerwen, the years before, was talked up as one of the most talented players of all time. And he just hadn't quite won a world championship. And this was his first one. So it's always going to be a historic line.
And then the rest is history. He's now got 3 world championships to his belt. So,
many more major tournaments.
Quite possibly. Whether he'll get as close as Phil Taylor, the man from Stoke-on-Trent.
I reckon he'll probably get to 7 or 8 at least.
Quite possibly so. Do you know who it was that did that commentary line?
Rod Studd.
Rod Studd. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
There's loads of memorable darts quotes because literally loads, but you don't really think of them that much. I mean, I bet you could think of absolutely loads. Sid Waddell obviously is a legend that is. Yeah. I bet you could think of loads. Ever.
Yeah. This was kind of like a bit symbolic, this one really, because obviously Michael van Gerwen winning his first World Championship. So why I decided to go for this one.
Right. I'm going to go back to cricket now for my next one. And it's Bumble. Mr. Bumble himself. And it's his reaction. It's not exactly a commentary line, but it's kind of a reaction whilst he was in the commentary box on the mic. So it was in reaction to Ben Stokes' catch at the 2015 Ashes.
Oh, what a catch! Ben Stokes. Oh, they're tumbling all over the place. Australia 5 down.
Where it was off Stuart Broad's bowling. Adam Voges was caught at like 4th slip, and Ben Stokes took the catch behind him almost. He was literally stretching back all the way to here or something, and you just hear Bumble on the mic saying, "Oh, what a catch!" I've used that commentary line before on the podcast in previous edits when we were doing the transition to different sections, and that sticks with me all the time. That's why I love Sky's cricket commentaries. Bumble and Nasser Hussain and Rob Key and stuff. They're brilliant. I think they're brilliant.
Yeah.
If you count them reactions, you should have meant. I wish I'd known that. I would have put in Gary Neville's goalgasm in 2012.
Yeah, but
Torres goal.
Funny reactions were counting.
To be fair, you could have done that because he was on commentary at the time, and so was Bumble. It was just a reaction to
it's not
to
really
the wicket.
a line, though.
Well, kind of is.
Bumbles is. Neville's isn't. Bumbles is.
Yeah. And
Neville's
it was
just a noise.
It was such an iconic innings as well, because obviously England bowled the Aussies out for just 60 at Trent Bridge.
Yeah.
Stuart Broad taking 8 for 15 in that innings. I mean, probably one of the best England performances in an Ashes for a long time. And hopefully we can do it again down under this time.
Just realised the thing, Gary Neville on commentary doesn't have iconic lines, does he? He's just got iconic noises. Like every single time there's a VAR decision. Ooh.
Yep. Ooh.
every single VAR decision, every single potential VAR penalty decision ever. He can't resist.
Or any dodgy tackle, he's like, ooh.
Yeah. It just makes noises. Doesn't have commentary lines. He just makes noises. That's what we remember for when he retires.
That's a penalty. I think that's a penalty.
I'll move on to my last one, which is tennis, and it's by Andrew Castle, and it's Andy Murray winning the 2013 Wimbledon Championship.
The waiting is over.
The reason it's so iconic is because Andy Murray ended a 77-year wait for a men's singles title at Wimbledon. So obviously it's going to go down in history. And it's the waiting is over. Andy Murray is the Wimbledon champion, and you simply cannot give more. Yeah.
Obviously an iconic moment
Obviously
an iconic moment in British sport. Andy Murray winning his first Wimbledon title. Can't argue with that at all. Such an iconic moment.
Yeah,
and
especially after such a long wait of not winning one for British tennis. And then
absolutely. I'll go to my next one. It's another football one. It's from Peter Drury, and it's Manolas's goal for Roma against Barcelona.
And they're 10! Roma have risen from their ruins! Manolas, the Greek god in Rome!
Just
incredible.
Just the commentary line itself, it's absolutely incredible. The commentary line he comes up with, just in the spur of the moment.
Yeah. Incredible.
And just the context behind it as well, with everything, with like ancient Greece and stuff, goes the Greek god in Rome. It's just such an iconic line.
One of my favourite football lines,
Absolutely. And the game wasn't half bad either.
When we discussed this idea earlier, I remember you saying straight away that's one you were looking at. So I was like, oh, well, I hope Ben says it, and if not, I'll bring it up later.
The game wasn't half bad either.
No.
Yeah. Roman, that comeback, incredible.
Yeah.
First of 2 bottles in 2 years from Barca.
Yeah.
Already mentioned that commentary line from the one in the year after that.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I won't say it again, don't worry.
I think it's just me that's got ones left now, because I think I've got 2 more actually.
Yeah, he told us 5
or one
and
more.
Up with 10.
No, one more actually. I think this is my last one, and it's another cricket one. It's actually England on the losing side this time. In the 2020 World Cup in India in 2016, when we lost in the final to the West Indies. There was a line by Ian Bishop. It was just after Carlos Brathwaite absolutely pummeled Ben Stokes for about 3 sixes in the over. And you just hear, as soon as he hits a 6 off the final ball to win it or something, it's like shouting Carlos Brathwaite, remember the name and stuff. You'll see the clip in the edit, but...
Gone. Carlos Brathwaite! Remember the name! History for the West Indies!
It's a memorable moment, not for good reasons, because that was a good chance of England winning another major tournament in cricket. But then again, the West Indies deserved to win it based off they needed 19 to win off the final over. And he goes and hits 3 sixes in a row. I mean, he's some player. And he's
clutch.
Yeah, and he's going to be playing in the T20 Blast this year for the Birmingham Bears. So we want to watch out for sure, Carlos Brathwaite. And obviously he's now West Indies T20 skipper. So come a long way since that moment.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if there's any more that we can think of off our heads. I mean, there's obviously many, many more that we just haven't touched the surface of. I mean,
a lot of them, from the football side of things, a lot of them are going back a few years now.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think now, like, what I always find with commentary at football at the moment, if you want the like really passionate commentary lines, you have to go to local TV channels or actual club owned media and stuff like for example, I mentioned Corner Taken Quickly Origi. That is a Liverpool TV commentator. The BT commentary is just I think it's like they've spotted that.
They've caught them out. I think it was Darren Fletcher saying they've caught them out. But then I want to go back to Darren Fletcher, and there's one line again that Darren Fletcher said. I think it was in the Ajax Tottenham game when Lucas Moura won the game in the final minute. That's one that sticks with you.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
obviously Tottenham coming back from the depths of despair, being flipping 3-0 down on aggregate and winning on away goals. I mean. Some comeback, and then obviously Rob will probably gloss over what happened in the final, obviously because Liverpool obviously won it. But
terrible game.
It was a terrible game. It always is. It always is between all English sides. If
you win,
I suppose so. I suppose so.
2008 wasn't too bad. Chelsea, that was pretty entertaining.
No, but
to be fair, if you go through foot, like obviously I actually know from my 5 that apparently I don't watch anything else because I can't think of anything. But Martin Tyler and like the era of Martin Tyler from about 2010 to about 2015, 16 is about 10 just stupidly iconic lines in there. Everyone quotes all the time, saying about how the ones that get quoted, there's obviously he's done it. That one gets quoted a lot all the time.
And Martin Tyler's voice crack when he shouts Makeda.
Yeah, there's loads. He's that glory era. He come up with about 3 or 4 a season, and just brilliant lines for like consistently for like 5 years. And then as he gotten older, slowly just dropped off until now. You can see his voice can't take it anymore. A long successful career in commentary, loads of iconic lines, and lots of shout, and it's completely done his voice in now.
Yeah, but he is. Well, I'd be interested to see what your thoughts are about Martin Tyler. Do you think he's overrated, or do you think he generally is really good?
I think he's really good. I don't think I've not seen anybody who I think's better than him yet in terms of neutral, obviously TV coverage. I stand by, say, club commentators or just local media commentators are better because they can get away with showing bias and showing a bit of passion in there. Like whenever if I want to watch the highlights back of a Liverpool goal, I'll watch Steve Hunter from LFC TV. I'll watch his commentary because he's allowed to show passion on it.
Yeah.
Well, MUTV, but the commentator on there, I think his name's Stuart Gardner, doesn't show any passion. So,
Burnley's Claret's player, Burnley's TV, our commentator shows a lot of passion because he is from Burnley.
That's what you want to hear from your commentators, though, but you can't really do that now.
Phil Bird on Claret's player, he's absolutely brilliant on commentary. The amount of passion he shows, that's what football's all about in particular, and it's what sport's all about, passion.
That's why the iconic lines are years ago, because now TV companies are so focused on obviously trying to stay balanced and not pick sides or show any bias. So it's quite hard to come up with like an iconic line when you don't want to be assumed that you're biased. That's Martin Tyler constantly gets abuse. He's biased towards Man United because of how he reacts to goals, and it's just like it's not that deep, really, is it?
Yeah, the Benteke overhead kick where he scores, no reaction. Martial arts like,
oh, what a wonderful goal!
Massive reaction for that. Yeah.
What people forget about that Benteke one is Liverpool are losing the game. Exactly. They're like 3-1 down. It doesn't mean anything. It's just a consolation goal. It doesn't mean anything.
No, I do think Martin Tyler is a really good commentator, but he's not my favourite. He's not my favourite. If you put Bill Leslie on a Premier League game, a high-profile Premier League game, I think he'd be brilliant because I think he is absolutely fantastic as a commentator.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
And again, Peter Drury, superb. Some of his Champions League game and his World Cup commentary. There's another one, James Rodriguez as well in the World Cup against Uruguay. The goal he scored, Peter Drury's commentary is superb again.
Yeah. He's just brilliant. We say about passion's been dying out, but you've got to do that. You could send him to somewhere. You could send him to like Harrogate against Grimsby, and he come up with some sort of brilliant line because he's just so into the game. Doesn't have to do the top games.
It's what we love to see, and that's why commentators are a special breed.
Yeah, just the way his voice. Even like back on Pez in the day, Peter Drury, he could shoot from 4 yards out an open goal, and he's act like he just cracked in from 30 yards.
But I think the single-handedly greatest commentary line of all time is Derek Ray saying, Bruno Fernandes.
Ben Yedder.
There we go.
I already said it earlier on. 3 of the best. He's made them pay from Martin Tyler. Some people are going to be so confused if they don't. If you haven't played FIFA, you have no idea what the hell we've been going on about.
Just to finish, what are we going to say for our greatest commentary line of all times?
3 of the best. He's made them pay. I just said it.
Out of all mine, I'd probably go for the Glock one, to be honest, or Clive Tildesley, Solskjaer one. One of those 2 for mine, anyway.
Rob, what about you?
I don't know which one I prefer.
I think in terms of the
FIFA quote.
Yeah, I think in terms of the actual line, rather like just taking away the moment, I think I'll go. Here's Hogdini.
Yeah, I'd have said that one. And if we're going, if that's for the moment, and if we were going for an actual line, I'd go for Peter Drury's one, Roma versus Barca.
Yeah,
the Greek god in Rome.
Agree with that.
Just because of the circumstances surrounding it, and Roma putting out the giants of Barcelona.
There's different, so things can get shot up. Well, so if you're going off, if you factor in everything, I probably would go towards Aguero just because of the moment. But I'm actual solely judging the commentary. I think I'll stick with Hogg and Deeney.
But then again, David Coleman's one in the 70 World Cup.
Out of my 5 anyway.
In the 70 World Cup as well, David Coleman's what a save, Gordon Banks. I mean, that's stuck around for 50 odd years and it's still used today in vast measures. But no, we've got some decent lines there. There's loads that we've missed. So if any of the listeners can think of any that we've missed, tell us. Give us them and give us a bollocking on Twitter and stuff, because we should have done more prep and we didn't because we're lazy. So
I'm not lazy. I did prep.
Yeah, to be fair, Jake delayed recording by 15 minutes because he was still working on his prep.
Yeah, me and you were on early because we just wrote them down.
You didn't even learn the line for one of yours.
Well, it was difficult to memory, but anyhow,
you lazy sod.
Shut up. On that cue, we are reaching the end of our Zoom time, so that will bring episode 27 to an end. Stay tuned for future weeks. Things could get a bit messy with recordings, with us being here, there, and everywhere, and on different times and schedules and working and stuff. So keep with us, and we'll keep trying to bring the episodes out. Not that they're any good, but we keep trying. But anyhow, take care, and we shall see you next week, hopefully, for another dreadful episode of the Handbags, Manbags, Bumbags podcast. So, see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.